Most people walk into a store, buy a lottery ticket, and cross their fingers. They think the outcome lives in chance, in numbers, in odds. But they miss the truth that changes everything. The power doesn't lie in the ticket. It lies in the frequency you carry the moment you speak your intention. What you say, and more importantly, how you say it, is the first domino in a much deeper energetic process. Bob Proctor taught that everything begins in the unseen, in thought, in word, in vibration. And what most overlook is that words are not casual. They are commands. They are the first expression of your internal frequency. When you speak before buying that ticket, you're not just hoping, you're either aligning or misaligning yourself with abundance. The phrase isn't magic by itself. It's magnetic when charged with belief. This is why two people can say the same exact words and get completely different results. One says it from a place of faith, clarity, and receptivity. The other says it from habit or desperation. The universe doesn't respond to the phrase, it responds to the energy behind it. That moment before you purchase, when you pause, center yourself, and speak from certainty, becomes the seed. And every seed carries a vibration that determines its fruit. It's never about the ticket. That's just the symbol. What really matters is whether your inner world is aligned with receiving, whether your frequency is stable, whether your mind and body are in coherence. That alignment can turn the most ordinary moment into a point of attraction so strong that it bends the outcome, not through luck, but through law. When you understand this, buying a ticket becomes something else entirely. It's no longer a gamble, it's a ritual of alignment. A moment where you don't just wish for a miracle. You become the space where a miracle is allowed to land. Every word you speak carries a vibration. It's not just sound, it's energy encoded with belief, emotion, and expectation. When you speak before taking an action like buying a lottery ticket, you're not just making noise, you're setting a tone, a frequency that ripples out into the invisible field around you. That field responds not to what you say logically, but to what you say vibrationally. Bob Proctor often emphasized that your thoughts are creative, but your words are directive. They tell the universe what you're ready for, what you're aligned with, and what you expect. But only when spoken from a place of truth. You can't fake frequency. You can't say, "I'm ready to receive," while feeling lack, doubt, or fear. The energy underneath always overrides the words. The moment you speak, you're sending out a signal, not to the lottery, but to the quantum field, to the unseen structure that's constantly rearranging itself to match who you are. This is why certain phrases, when spoken with total alignment, can trigger outcomes that seem like miracles. Because those words didn't just describe a desire, they embodied a frequency. But that frequency must be clean. It can't be layered with resistance. It must come from a place of full permission, emotionally and energetically. When you say, "I allow abundance," but deep down feel unworthy, there's a split in the signal. That gap is what delays manifestation. But when the word, the feeling, and the identity are all in sync, reality begins to bend. And if this message is resonating with you, it's not by chance. There's a part of you that already knows this, a part that's remembering what's always been true. So if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel and like the video, because what you're about to uncover next might just shift how you speak and what you attract forever. A phrase spoken without feeling is just noise. It might sound right, it might even echo something you heard from a teacher or a book, but if it isn't backed by real emotion, it won't move anything. In the universe of vibration, words alone are empty. It's the emotion behind them that gives them substance, charge, power. The phrase only becomes a force when it reflects your state, not when it tries to replace it. Bob Proctor often said that the subconscious mind doesn't understand language the way the conscious mind does. It understands feeling. Emotion is the language of energy. It's what impresses ideas into your vibration. So when you say something like, "I am a magnet for wealth," but internally you feel anxious, doubtful, or unworthy, the dominant frequency is not abundance. It's contradiction. This is why speaking a phrase before buying a lottery ticket isn't about getting the words right. It's about getting the feeling aligned. The words are just the vessel. The real transmission is what's happening beneath them. The sense of belief, of certainty, of openness. When the phrase and the feeling become one, something clicks. And that's when the shift begins. It might start subtly. You say the words and your chest feels lighter. Your breath slows. Your thoughts quiet down. That's your system responding. That's coherence. And from that coherence, your energy field begins to stabilize. In that stability, you become magnetic, not because you said the right phrase, but because you felt the right signal. So don't rush the words. Don't fake the tone. Wait until you feel it, even if it's just a spark. Because that spark, when honest, carries more power than 1,000 hollow affirmations. It's the spark that signals, "I'm ready," not in theory, but in vibration. It's not just about what you say. It's about who you are being when you say it. That's the frequency the universe hears. You can whisper a phrase with full alignment, and it will shake the invisible structures around you. Or you can shout a dozen affirmations with no change at all if they're spoken from a place of lack. Because vibration isn't in the volume, it's in the identity. Bob Proctor taught that you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. And in the moment you speak an intention before buying that ticket, the question is not whether the words are powerful. The question is, are you powerful in that moment? Are you being someone who believes, who allows, who embodies abundance? Or are you still being someone who is waiting for proof before stepping into the role? This shift in identity isn't about pretending. It's about remembering. It's about accessing the part of you that already knows what it feels like to receive with ease. That version of you doesn't hope. They know. They don't beg, they welcome. And when you speak from that version, your words don't request, they resonate. Your nervous system feels different. Your posture shifts. The space around you seems to quiet, as if life itself is listening more closely. Because it is. When identity changes, frequency changes. And when frequency changes, results follow. Not because of effort, but because of coherence. So the next time you stand with a ticket in your hand and a phrase on your lips, pause, not to repeat something from memory, but to become the version of you who already has the outcome. From that place, speak, and let your energy do the work. There's a moment, right after the words are spoken, when something subtle, yet powerful, must happen, release. Most people think letting go means giving up, that it signals doubt, or weakness, or fear that it won't work. But the opposite is true. Letting go is not an escape from belief. It is the evidence of belief. It's the final vibration that says, "I trust so much. I no longer need to hold." Bob Proctor spoke often about detachment, not as indifference, but as confidence. When you're still holding tightly, energetically begging the universe to deliver, you're signaling uncertainty. You're vibrating in lack. But when you speak your words, align your emotion, step into your identity, and then release with calm, you become a clear channel. You no longer block the flow. This release doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop interfering. You stop checking the soil every 5 minutes to see if the seed has sprouted. You trust the process. You allow time, space, and movement to do their part. That openness creates room, and into that space, the manifestation can finally arrive. Letting go is not a passive act. It's active alignment. It's you saying, "I've done my part, and now I allow the universe to do the rest." There's no tension, no force, just openness. And ironically, it's usually right after this moment that things begin to shift, not because you pushed, but because you allowed. So when you finish your phrase, breathe. Let the ticket go with peace. Don't demand proof. Don't search for signs. Know that the energy has already moved, and that the rest, the numbers, the moment, the miracle, is already finding its way to you. People think they want to win the lottery, but what they really want is the feeling they believe it will give them: freedom, security, possibility. The lottery is just a symbol, a container. And the truth is, if your internal frequency doesn't match that feeling before the win, the numbers will never line up. Because it's not about chance. It's about resonance. The lottery doesn't respond to hope, it reflects your belief. Bob Proctor often taught that results are never random. They are ordered by law, by the vibration you hold, moment to moment, day after day. The lottery, then, becomes a kind of test, not of luck, but of identity. It asks, who are you being when you ask to receive? Are you being the version of yourself who trusts, who feels abundant, who allows? Or are you still chasing a number to fix what you haven't healed inside? This doesn't mean you can't win. It means that when you do, it won't feel like a surprise. It will feel aligned, natural, obvious. Because the version of you who receives is the one who no longer needs proof to believe. That version already feels whole, already feels supported. And when that level of belief is sustained, outcomes begin to appear in forms far beyond what you imagined, including the lottery, if that's how the abundance chooses to show itself. The real miracle isn't in the money. It's in the shift that happens when you stop chasing external validation and start embodying internal alignment. That shift changes the way you speak, act, feel, and it changes what life reflects back to you.